Hey everyone, it's me, Christian, aka the PlatinumChin. Today we're going to be talking about the remix of my favorite game in the entire Pokemon franchise. Aside from being my favorite Pokemon games, Diamond and Pearl were actually some of my favorite games of all time. I was 10 years old when Diamond and Pearl came out, and they were some of the first games that I got on my brand new DS Lite, and I definitely remember begging my mom to get me the game on release day. Being able to catch some of my old favorite Pokemon along with some of the awesome additions to the Sinnoh decks, it left me truly wanting to catch them all. But enough about the originals. We're here to talk about the new Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which were just released for the Nintendo Switch. So, without further ado, I'm here to present you the 5/9 Gaming Direct review of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Since 1998, Pokemon has dominated the sales charts. With releases every few years, Pokemon has cemented itself as an ever-present pop culture phenomenon. Starting with the original Pokemon Red and Blue versions, or Red and Green in the Japanese releases, something about collecting hundreds of specialized little pocket monsters has driven fans wild for decades. And with every iteration, Pokemon games, much like Pokemon themselves, kept evolving. With Gold and Silver, players could now breed Pokemon. Pokemon could become friendly towards you, and day and night cycles made every route you ventured essentially have two pools to choose from. With Ruby and Sapphire, players could show off their Pokemon in contests, engage in double battles, and create their own secret base that they could decorate with items found throughout their adventure. With ever-evolving gameplay, it was going to be hard for Game Freak to top themselves with their next big adventure, but top themselves they did when they released Pokemon Diamond and Pearl in 2007. The first Pokemon game to feature the ability to not only connect to other nearby players, but connect with players around the world via a Wi-Fi connection and bring them into a brand new area where they could explore, trade Pokemon, and play mini games together. Diamond and Pearl also featured a gorgeous and memorable new region, Sinnoh. For Pokemon fans like me, Sinnoh was a revelation. From the waterways that are present in almost every area of the map to the spear pillar atop Mount Coronet, there seemed to be no end to what players could explore. Every area was teeming with new and familiar Pokemon that could be caught and trained, new items to find and try, and new trainers to battle. As a Pokemon game, it was the pinnacle of everything Game Freak had created up to that point. And for me, it will always be the most special Pokemon game. In Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you play as a young Pokemon trainer who sets off on their own Pokemon adventure. After seeing a TV broadcast about a red Gyarados in one of the region's many lakes, you and your best friend / rival Barry go off to look to see if there might be any at the nearby Lake Verity. There, you meet Professor Rowan and his assistant, either Dawn or Lucas, depending on the gender of your chosen character, who rush off to do important research. You and Barry approach the suitcase that Rowan left behind and are attacked by some wild Pokemon. It is here where your journey begins, as you are tasked with selecting your starter. As is tradition, you're granted the choice of a Fire-type Chimchar, a Water-type Piplup, or a Grass-type Turtwig. Once you've selected your Pokemon and fought off the wild attackers, you meet up with Rowan to return his Pokemon. However, once he sees how they have already bonded with you, he decides to let you keep them in return for your assistance with gathering information on all the Sinnoh Pokemon by way of entries in your Pokedex. Once you've received your starting Pokemon, you're off like a bolt of lightning, trying to catalog and capture every Pokemon you come across as you make your way across the Sinnoh region. As you venture through each route in town, you eventually come across the industrious Oreburgh City. Here is where you face your first gym challenge with the Rock-type gym leader, Rorik. As I had chosen Turtwig, Rorik went down easy, but that was just the beginning of my adventure. As I traveled back to Jubilife City, where I had stopped on my way to Oreburgh, I was met by members of Team Galactic, a villainous group of Pokemon trainers united in their pursuit to destroy the universe and remake it in a way that they see fit. They are led by the enigmatic Cyrus, who plans to use the power of the mythical Lake Guardian Pokemon, Azelf, Mesprit, and Uxie, to gain control of the Pokemon that control the universal forces, either Dialga or Palkia, depending on your version. The pressure you face continues to mount as you take on gym leaders in the various towns, all while trying to stop the machinations of Team Galactic. Whether you're fighting the Grass Gym Leader Gardenia and her ravishing Roserade, or fighting Galactic Commander Jupiter and her shrewd Skunk Tank, you're gonna find yourself and your team facing new types of battles around every corner. But as you go throughout the various areas, you'll meet a mysterious woman named Cynthia who guides you and provides you certain items to help you along the course of your journey. Dressed in all black, Cynthia is a mysterious figure who always seems to guide you along to get to where you need to be. With her help, you're able to cut down trees and later move a group of Trouble Psyduck who are blocking the way forward. As you pass through more of the map and eventually take down 7 of the gym leaders, you're moved to take down Cyrus himself on top of Mount Coronet, where he has trapped the creation Pokemon of your chosen game. It takes the combined effort of you and Barry to take down the Galactic Commanders before facing off with the big boss himself. It's also where Cyrus truly spells out his cynical and nihilistic worldview. He prides himself on being above emotions and finds them to be something that holds humankind back. He sees a universe free of emotions as a way of ending all the conflict that plagues the universe that currently exists. This is an incredibly heavy motive for such a kid-friendly game, and I was always amazed that Game Freak was willing to take a chance on something so existential when the target audience has definitely always been young children. But once you stop Cyrus and capture either Dialga or Palkia, you're off to fight Volkner in Sunyshore City. Before you face him and obtain your 8th badge, you meet Flint, a member of the Elite Four who is a friend of Volkner's. As a side note, Flint's introduction here is fantastic. Flint tells you Volkner has become jaded after not receiving a proper challenger for an extended period of time. And after you find and then convince Volkner to return to his post, you face your final gym leader and are off to the Pokemon League to challenge the Elite Four. The toughest trainers in all of Sinnoh, the Elite Four present a challenge that can only be topped by the Pokemon Champion. And just who is the Pokemon Champion of the Sinnoh region? Cynthia. Defeating Cynthia's team will take every last bit of preparation and Pokemon knowledge the player has, but if you can make it past her team, you have successfully finished the epic story of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and become the new Pokemon Champion. Even after so many years, the story of Diamond and Pearl still lingers in my mind. It was mind-blowing to me that there was a team out to destroy the entire universe, and doubly mind-blowing that the mysterious woman who helped me along my entire journey was the Pokemon champion the whole time. I'll never get tired of facing down the Sinnoh gym leaders or tearing my way through galactic grunts and commanders on my way to take down Cyrus. That, along with several little mysteries that present themselves throughout your playtime, is sure to make for a memorable journey during your time in the Sinnoh region. If you're a fan of the Pokemon series, then the core gameplay of Pokemon will come as no surprise to you. This game is about catching monsters and lots of them. There are over 15 types of Pokemon, all with advantages and disadvantages when fighting against each other. Along with all of the original types, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl also include the Fairy type that was added in Generation 6, meaning that some of the battles you might remember will change drastically due to typings no longer being the same for certain Pokemon in one of your opponent's teams. Out of the options that spring to the front of my mind, Mr. Mime is no longer just Psychic and had Fairy typing added when introduced in Generation 6. That means if you're a veteran who made sure to have Dark types for the Elite Four's Lucian, you'll have a tougher time taking this powerful Psychic wall down. But don't fret, as Pokemon are much easier to train this time around than they were in the original games. You see, in the original version of Diamond and Pearl, players could get themselves the EXP share item, which would allow the Pokemon holding it to gain experience without ever having to enter a battle. But in Pokemon Sword and Shield, Game Freak decided to change the EXP share system, and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are all the better for it. Now, whatever Pokemon that you carry with you on your team will be gaining experience after defeating an enemy Pokemon, making raising your Pokemon a much simpler endeavor. This meant that I could level up weaker Pokemon that I caught on my way to the Pokemon League, remembering that the Elite Four had some tough Pokemon that I would need specific types to counter and put down as quickly as possible. This also meant that defeating the gym leaders was actually easier than it was way back on the DS. Having more reliably leveled Pokemon in my team meant that I had the freedom to switch out from my starter more often, and that I can guarantee that I wouldn't have to mindlessly grind one specific Pokemon to level to keep up with the story playthrough when a tough galactic fight or gym leader battle was ahead. Although, despite having a much easier time with the gym leaders, that didn't stop me from having one hell of a time with the Elite Four. Oh boy, let's talk about the Elite Four. Now, when Game Freak announced that ILCA was doing a faithful remake, a lot of us expected to know what we were up against. I mean, we knew the fights, and with the exception of a few new moves and typing since Diamond and Pearl's original release, we knew we could take down these teams with some solid preparation. Now, the Elite Four in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have been tweaked, not just tweaked, they have been cranked up to 11. If you're unprepared, you will likely be met with some of the best battle strategies ever in a Pokemon game by NPCs. My first time facing the Elite Four, I had my Pokemon up to level 33, and while that was good for the first two members of the Elite Four, Flint and Lucian gave me no end of trouble and cost me so many of my healing items. It was impossible to make it through the championship fight. Flint, in particular, used one of the most frustrating combos I've ever encountered by an NPC. In the original version of Diamond and Pearl, Flint had a Drifblim with Baton Pass and Double Team. Well, in this game, Double Team is replaced with Minimize. And I know it doesn't seem like a huge difference, but going from one stage of evasiveness to 2 stages per turn meant that it was exponentially harder for my attacks to hit after just one use. After using Minimize 3 times, Flint then used Baton Pass to switch out to Infernape. Being such a high level, Infernape put a hurt on all my Pokemon while being almost unable to be touched. Now, thankfully, I had a Mew on my team that knew Reflect to keep my team alive long enough, but this fight alone lasted about 20 minutes and cost me so many precious full restores, hyper potions, and revives. These small changes in moves and AI meant that I couldn't just coast through this Elite Four like I thought I'd be able to. But even then, I really wasn't prepared for Cynthia. Cynthia and her team have always been known to be one of the most punishing championship battles in Pokemon history. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can go into any room of 25-year-old Pokemon fans and say the words Cynthia's Garchomp and be met with nothing but looks of terror. Cynthia, as the Pokemon champion of the Sinnoh region, has one of the most well-rounded and powerful Pokemon teams there are. But there was no way I could be prepared for how overwhelmingly powerful her team was, even if you managed to one-hit a majority of her Pokemon. 2 of them in particular have the ability to stall your team and waste your heals and power points like no other Pokemon ever have in the franchise. Melodic, for instance, now holds a Flame Orb. Combined with its signature Marvel Scale ability, this meant that it had a 50% defensive buff throughout the entire fight. On top of that, its Recover ability made sure that it was always able to heal itself and essentially become a wall that stopped my progression for several turns. Then, there was Garchomp. Garchomp has a few moves replaced in this updated version, including having Poison Jab and Sword Dance added to his moveset. Sword Dance assures that if he can't one-shot your Pokemon, he will keep raising his attack until he can. The only strategy that got me through Garchomp was swapping in my Staraptor with Intimidate over and over to counter his Sword Dance, although that didn't outpace his boosts, only kept him level with his starting attack level. Finally, after he had one-shot half my team and I was running low on revives, I swapped in Mew. When Mew came in, Garchomp decided to use Sword Dance instead of attacking, which gave my Mew enough time to use Reflect to counter his exclusively physical attack moves. I saw my chances rising and healed Mew, only for Garchomp to use Poison Jab. Mew was poisoned, but his Synchronize assured that Garchomp was poisoned too. I had drawn blood. Holding out as long as I could, I kept healing Mew as Garchomp slowly lost more and more health due to his poison status. When Garchomp was just under half health, I used Mew's Psychic attack and the nightmare was over. I had defeated the toughest battle I can remember ever having as a Pokemon trainer in the story mode of the game. Cynthia commended me on becoming the new champion, but there was so much more to do. It was time to enter the Underground. The Underground is something that is introduced relatively early, after the player reaches Eterna City. By meeting the Underground Man, you'll be granted the Explorer's Kit, which allows you to enter the Grand Underground from any overworld location on the map that isn't a cave or inside a building. The Grand Underground allows for all the activities that were present in the original versions of Diamond and Pearl, minus Capture the Flag. You can mine for valuable items such as heart scales, colorful spheres to trade NPCs, and fossils. You can also create your own secret base and decorate it with Pokemon statues, which help you find certain Pokemon you're looking for. What's that? You don't remember finding Pokemon in the Underground? Well, in the originals you couldn't. But That's why Pokemon Hideaways were added. Pokemon Hideaways are a new Pokemon hunting ground introduced in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They add a whole new layer of depth to the underground and are constantly keeping up with your Pokemon throughout your adventure. Each Pokemon Hideaway has a specific set of Pokemon that spawn there, and the spawns are relative to the biomes themselves. In a dazzling cave, which is filled with eerily glowing crystals, you'll find various psychic Pokemon. In a fountain spring cave, which is filled with a small body of water and some patches of grassland, you'll find various water and grass type Pokemon. There were several times that I went into the underground to catch Pokemon that might help with an upcoming gym leader while I was playing, and even use the various caves to hunt specific Pokemon that I was missing from my Sinnoh Pokedex. And during your time mining, you'll find boxes containing statues that, when placed in your secret base, further increase your odds of finding the Pokemon type that corresponds to a certain statue. An Infernape statue will increase your chances of finding fire and fighting type Pokemon, while a Chansey statue can increase the amount of normal type Pokemon you find. As a seasoned vet to the franchise, I always appreciate things that make it easier to hunt a specific Pokemon. Hideaways open up even more as you reach the post-game. Once you beat the Elite Four, Pokemon levels in the underground can reach the low to mid 60s, whereas they were capped at the low to mid 40s prior. They may go to even higher levels, but since my Pokemon are mostly in the high 60s to low 70s at the time of writing this review, I'm unable to know for sure. What I do know for sure is that once you have the National Dex, which is obtained by simply seeing and not capturing all the Pokemon in the Sinnoh Dex, your list of Pokemon available in the underground skyrockets. Not only can you capture a more expanded list of Pokemon, especially helpful since Sinnoh lacks a solid fire type roster, but you're also able to catch some absolutely necessary endgame monsters. For example, Ditto is found in the underground after receiving the National Dex, as are the starters from Generation 1s through 3. You can even hunt down the Sinnoh starters in the underground if you're looking to shiny hunt without the pain of resetting your game at the beginning. Speaking of shiny hunting, we should talk about the shiny locked Pokemon in this game. There are none. Well, okay, that's not entirely true. If you get the Mew and Jirachi by having Pokemon Let's Go or Sword and Shield save files on your Switch, those will be shiny locked. However, nothing else is. That means if you want a shiny Dialga or Palkia, you can reset your game until you get them. Aside from that, the Lightstone events in the underground will double your chances down there for 4 minutes, up from 1 in every 4,096 Pokemon to 1 in every 2,048 Pokemon. But if you want to increase your chances even more, you can use the Pokeradar and chain together encounters with the same Pokemon over and over to get yourself up to a 1% chance to catch a shiny Pokemon. Still not great odds, but definitely better than 1 in 4,096. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to up those odds for legendary Pokemon, and there's a whole lot of those available here without ever having to import them from other games. And once you get to the post game, you'll definitely want to start catching some of your favorite legendary Pokemon. And one of the best places to do that is Ramanas Park, an updated version of the PAL Park from the original games. Ramanas Park is deeply tied to the underground in that you need to farm a specific currency in order to buy special slates that you use to summon the particular Pokemon that you want. Once you have a slate, you simply go into Ramanas Park and seat the slate into an altar. Make sure you save beforehand, especially if you're shiny hunting. Ramanas is a quiet place that is treated with reverence by the NPCs that visit, and for good reason. Some of the fan favorite Pokemon, including Mewtwo, the Regiline, and Rayquaza are here. You can even get Ho-Oh and the legendary dogs if you have Brilliant Diamond, and Lugia and the legendary birds if you have Shining Pearl. Honestly, there's nothing like being able to be the original trainer of your favorite legendaries without going through the hassle of having to move things through Pokemon Home or from your Sword and Shield file. Don't think that Ramanas Park isn't the only place you can get legendary Pokemon though, as Giratina, Cresselia, the Lake Trio, Heatran, and Regigigas can all be obtained as well. There's also a way to obtain a certain legendary Pokemon with its own game coming soon. But if you're more along the lines of someone who craves a good battle in the endgame, you can head to the Battle Tower, the ultimate endgame grind for Pokemon trainers. The Battle Tower features hundreds of battle challenges that will test your skills as a trainer and reward you with fabulous prizes upon your success. You'll find yourself gaining not only special ribbons and trophies as you fight your way up the ladder, but you will also get a healthy supply of battle points, which allow you to purchase special items only available in the Battle Tower. The ribbons can be placed on Pokemon and traditionally transferred across generations, letting you know which Pokemon you had in what generation and which were part of your preferred lineup. Make sure you bring a lot of leveled Pokemon, as the trainers in the Battle Tower will have every type of Pokemon under the sun, and you'll need to have a wide variety to ensure success. One of the more divisive things that came up in the Pokemon community after the announcement of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is the art style. Pokemon Sword and Shield had an art style that had been more current and evolved, opting to keep the character models in the overworld the same as they were in a Pokemon battle. This created a unified, cohesive look to the game throughout the entire playthrough and was seen as a more mature style in comparison to the older games. ILCA, the developers who handled the Diamond and Pearl remakes, went the opposite way. Instead of changing up the graphics to be in line with Sword and Shield, they decided that they would instead do a more modernized version of the original chibi-style overworld that was present in earlier Pokemon generations. This was seen as something as a step backwards by a lot of the community, but I honestly have to say that I love it. For me, Pokemon will always bring out a certain feeling of nostalgia. That nostalgia went through the roof when I saw the original trailer for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Seeing the game looking how I remember it as a kid with new lighting, better animations, and improved models brought me back to those days when I played it as a kid. And even more recently, it reminded me of the Link's Awakening remake that came out for Switch. That remake also adopted a more chibi-based art style that I absolutely adored. Fortunately, this game had none of the performance issues that came with Link's Awakening. I don't remember a single frame drop or graphical error during my 60+ hours that I played for this review, and I attribute that to Nintendo being meticulous when it comes to their first-party titles, with the exception of frame rates in Zelda titles on the Switch, it would seem. But whatever your opinion on the graphics, they handle beautifully on the Switch, and that's something that every Pokemon fan should be happy about. And if you are a fan of the Sword and Shield art style, you'll be happy to know that the more modernized Pokemon art style is present during all the battles in the game. It's a great balance for anyone who isn't completely thrilled with the chibi style overworld, as it lets you see your own character and all other trainers in the game as a full-scale, semi-realistic model. On top of all that, the fact that each trainer starts with their pose from the original Diamond and Pearl before moving with full animations was another great touch added to keep veterans of the series in that nostalgia mode that ILCA was clearly aiming for with these remakes. Capitalizing on the nostalgia of longtime Pokemon fans while keeping in some of the smarter changes the franchise has made in the last 14 years makes Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl a must-own for any Pokemon fan with a Nintendo Switch. From the updates to some of the battles creating moments of true tension for even the most seasoned Gen 4 fan, to the underground being reworked to allow for more player agency while in the pursuit of Pokemon. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl really take what we love and accentuate all the features that really make the original Diamond and Pearl stand out as a fabled entry into the series. Some of my favorite Pokemon come from Sinnoh, and I can't wait for Legends Arceus to take us back to an ancient Sinnoh earlier next year. But for now, I'm pretty content shiny hunting with my Poké Radar and looking for some of my favorites in the underground. With Diamond and Pearl being some of the games that really defined my childhood, it means a lot that I can be the one to bring you this review today. 10-year-old me never imagined that I'd be making a video review for one of my favorite games of all time, and that I'd have the chance to share that experience with all of you. Diamond and Pearl will always hold a special place in my heart, and even more so now that I've gotten to share it with so many people. Now, if you enjoyed this review today, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on all of our latest reviews and projects. By the way, are you going to be hunting for any shiny Pokemon? Is there any particular legendary that you can't wait to get your hands on? You guys know what to do. Let us know down in the comment section below. We would love to hear from you. And my name is Christian, aka the PlatinumChin, here for 5-9 Gaming Direct. And we hope you enjoyed this review of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you guys next time.